This is exhausting, but let's get into it.
Here's a report from the New York Post, which is basically the Fox News of newspapers.
If you are going to rip someone on the internet and post it publicly, be sure to have yourself a solid foundation or somebody's going to rip you right back.
Noted. Let's be sure you took your own advice.
Number 2. That article you posted from the New York Post holds no value. Why? Because every media outlet is trying to push their own narrative on the people that will follow them, which is why I don't follow any myself.
Now, I'm not one to make assumptions, but judging by your accent, you are not from New York. So maybe you didn't know that the New York Post is a right-leaning newspaper. Like, really right-leaning. Pro-Trump, pro-DeSantis leaning. Which is why I used it for my argument. Because regardless of what agenda they're trying to push, newspapers have to report the actual news sometimes. But it's not the newspaper I use that's your problem, right? You don't trust something else. Let's see what it is.
And number 3. Anything reported by the CDC, I don't care what outlet posts it, throw it in the fucking trash.
There it is. Now you went on to say that your distrust for the CDC came about because of COVID. Which, fine, whatever. But we're not talking COVID here, are we? We're talking about deaths at the hands of firearms. And maybe it would help you understand better how the CDC gathers its information and where they get their numbers and statistics from. I'll help. How does CDC get its data? The data used by public health comes from a wide variety of places within our local communities. Hospitals, laboratories, doctors' offices, anywhere that a person receives health care. Let's pick a state with one of the highest gun-related deaths per capita. Mississippi, a red state with lax gun laws. Now, when someone goes to the hospital, either DOA or passes away in the hospital from something gun-related, that gets reported to the CDC. Same way it works for heart disease deaths, accidental drownings. You name it, it gets reported to the CDC. Now, I don't think someone like you questions those numbers and those incidents, do you? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. So live your life not trusting anything and doing your own research and see how far that gets you. I don't have any time to get into all the other things you talked about. But explaining to a child why someone has 2 mommies is just as sexual as explaining to them why someone has a mom and a dad. Guess you didn't take your own advice after all. Anyways, bye!